What's that? Lie, lie, lie. La 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 All right, Shabbat Shalom and welcome. Shabbat is arriving after this incredibly difficult week for our world, and it's good to be together. Great to see so many people who are with us on this chat on this beautiful evening. Jeremy Wolf reminded us just a moment, and he put in the chat that we used to have this thing at Temple Sinai called Bug Shabbat, which was, like someone's backyard, and here I am, it's Bug Shabbat. And I'm glad to be in my beautiful backyard and with our student rabbi, our Erev Rav, Talia Stein, who's going to be ordained as a rabbi on Sunday right after Shabbat, and we'll take the opportunity to give her a blessing during tonight's Shabbat service. So welcome to everybody. It has been a hard week, and a hard week for the world, not just for us, of course, but a hard week for our world. And so we're gathering on Shabbat now to be reminded of the goodness, of the blessing that exists in the world in a time of darkness, of the power of community. It's good to be together with our community, with other communities who are all standing together. So we draw strength from Shabbat for that. We're going to begin now with lighting our Shabbat candles, and let me pull up the blessing so that everybody can see it, and invite you to join me. And if you've got your own Shabbat candles that you haven't yet set them up in your home, go take a minute, set them up, set up your own Shabbat candles, and bring the light of Shabbat into your household as well. And we'll hope that my candles stay lit out here in the outdoors. Please join me in the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. All right, please let's join me. We'll sing together words from the Psalms. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. We know these words. I will build a world from love. We must build the world from love. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. La 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 la. Chesed Yibaneh, la 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 la. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, la 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 la. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, la 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 la. I will build this world from love. La 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 la. And you must build this world from love. La 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 la. And if we build this world from love. La 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 la. Then God will build this world from love. La 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 la. Join us now. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. La 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 la. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. La 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 la. La 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 la. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. La 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 la. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. La 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 la. And from the Psalms of Shabbat, Or Zaru Ala Tzadik, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. We need light in a time of darkness. Light is a symbol of hope and goodness, and there is light and goodness and blessing in the world, and we know that there is, and we have a role in bringing it into the world. Or Zaru Ala Tzadik, O Yisrael Lev Simcha. tzadikim. Simchu tzadikim Adonai, Adonai, Behodu lezecher kodsho, lezecher kodsho. Zarua latzadik, o Yisrael lev simcha. O Zarua latzadik, o Yisrael lev simcha. Simchu tzadikim, simchu tzadikim, Adonai, Adonai, behodu lezecher kodsho, lezecher kodsho. Or zarua latzadik, o Yisrael simcha. O zarua latzadik, o Yisrael simcha. Tzaddik, o Yisrael simcha, simcha. All right, we're ready to greet Shabbat with the Lecha Dodi. And Lecha Dodi, the theology of the 16th century rabbis who wrote the Lecha Dodi, was very much that the world is broken, that the 6 days of the week that we live in are days when we have to toil, we have to work hard, that there's difficulty in the world and that we struggle every day to deal with that difficulty. But then comes Shabbat and everything is different. It's different this time, 1 day a week on Shabbat. 1 day a week we can just begin to taste, maybe imagine, feel what it would be like if the world were not broken, but if the world were whole. And we say to God, we say to the world, we say, Hit orori, rise up and come together and allow us to feel a sense of oneness that we yearn for. So please join us in the words of the Lecha Dodi to greet Shabbat. La 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 Lecha Dodi, la 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 Lekrat Kala, la 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 B'nei Shabbat, B'nei Shabbat. La 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 Lecha Dodi, la 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 Lekrat Kala, la 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 B'nei Shabbat, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor, Shamor v'zachor, v'dibor echad, Yishmianu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad, U'shemo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'lethilah. Ya la la, ya la 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 Lecha Dodi, la 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 Lekrat Kala, la 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 B'nei Shabbat, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. לקראת שבת, לכו ונלכה. לקראת שבת, לכו ונלכה. כי מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם משוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. יאללה לי, יאללה לה 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 לך דודי. לה 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 לקראת קלה. לה 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 בני שבת. בני שבת נקבלה. Third verse, hitorri, rise up. Hitorri, hitorri, kiva oren, umiori. Uri, uri, shita baby. Adonai, alayich nigla. Ya la la, ya la 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 la, lecha dodi. La 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 la, lekrat kala. La 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 la, b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. We come to the last and final verse. And if you wish, you can rise, you can face the entrance to your house, to your doorway, as we say to Shabbat, come Shabbat, bless us with peace and goodness. Oi v'shalom, atzevet balad, gam b'simcha, u'tzola. תוך אמונה עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לה 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 יא לה 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 לך דודי לה 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 לקראת קלה לה 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 בני שבת בני שבת נקווה לה 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 לך דודי לה 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 לקראת קלה לה 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 בני שבת בני שבת נקווה. Now I invite you, wherever you are, in your home, with your family perhaps, or just thinking of people that you love, just close your eyes for a second and breathe in a deep breath. Breathe in the blessing, rest, and goodness that we need from Shabbat, a deep breath. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. We're going to turn to the Baruch Hu in a moment. And this prayer, this is our call to prayer. And it's so incredible because this prayer is saying we're coming together as a community. Traditionally, we need a minyan. We need a group of at least 10 people to even say this prayer. And we're coming together. It's saying our call to prayer, our praying cannot happen without you. And at this time when so often we're physically distant, we're feeling more isolation than ever, it's so important that even on our computers, we come together and we're saying, Baruch Hu, we need you to be able to pray, to be able to be complete as a community.
La 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 la. La 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 la. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam vaed. La la ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leholam Vaed. Shem Kivod Malchuto Leholam Vaed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leholam Vaed.
Yahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meotecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ela asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'divarta bam v'shivtecha beveitecha uvlechtecha v'aderech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam liot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'yisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim leloechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeti etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim Liot lachem lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Emet. We're going to move into the Micha Mocha prayer, the prayer that the Israelites sang upon crossing the Red Sea, and I think it's so fitting that at this time of uncertainty, this time of fear, we need to recall the courage that Nachshon the Israelite and the Israelites had in leaving Egypt and in putting their faith in the fact that things could be better and crossing the Red Sea.
Micha mocha, Ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha, Neda b'kodesh, Nora, Tehilot, Oseh. oh, say, bele, bele, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, 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 la 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 la 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 la.
We ask for God's protection to spread over us a shelter of peace. Oh,
Good. That's all right. We'll sing it. I think I forgot to put the slide in, but Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom. There we go. Let me get my music. Hashkivenu Adonai. No, wrong one. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Ushmor tzeitenu Ushmor tzeitenu Ufo'enu Ufo'enu l'chayim u'l'shalom l'chayim u'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Ushmor tzeitenu Ushmor tzeitenu Ufo'enu Ufo'enu l'chayim u'l'shalom l'chayim u'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim.
now we are ready to sanctify Shabbat. And Shabbat is an opportunity for renewal, recharge, and we sing together.
V'shaveru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'torotam berit olam. Die, Beini, O Bein, Bnei Yisrael, O Leolam. Sheshet Yamim, Asa Adonai, et Hashamayim, v'et ha'aretz.
we're going to move into the Amidah, our standing prayer, an opportunity, and also an opportunity for personal prayer. And I invite you tonight to think about, we evoke the God of our ancestors. And I invite you to think about who in your life and where in your life you're getting your support from. During challenging times, it's so important to get support and to think about those places. And I love the image of thinking of our ancestors who also went through challenging times and evoking their names and evoking God, the source of life, and evoking all those in our lives for whom we get support. So we'll move into the Amidah.
Adonai, sifatai tiftachu fi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה האדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Prayer for peace that comes from the Psalms, asking for shalom for all of our brothers and sisters in the world. למען אחי ורעי, למען אחי ורעי, אדברה נא, שלומה. למען בית אדוני אלוהינו, הבקשה טוב לה. למען בית אדוני אלוהינו, הבקשה טוב לה. La 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. למען אחי ורעי, למען אחי ורעי, אדברה נא, שלומה. למען בית אדוני אלוהינו, הבקשה טוב לך. למען בית אדוני אלוהינו, הבקשה טוב לך. For the sake of my brothers, my sisters, my friends, let me speak. May you all have the blessing of shalom, of peace. Amen. Amen. All right, it's my opportunity now to ask God's blessing, as we do every week as a community, for people in our world who are dealing with illness, and we ask God to bless them with Rifwat HaNefesh, u'refuat haguf. The whole world is hurting this week. Some more than others, though. We have to acknowledge that. There are some people who are in deep pain, fear and anger, and we ask God's blessing for them, for African Americans and people of color in our world, in our community, in our country. And we ask God to bless us all with healing and with strength. People we're thinking of in our community, though, who are dealing with illness, we ask God's blessing for them specifically, for healing of body and healing of spirit. And we ask God to bless them with life and with good health. On this Shabbat in the Temple Sinai community, we ask God's blessing for Robin Barinholtz, Doris Barinholtz, Amy Perlman, A.B. Haupt, June Zeiner, Jim Zeiner, Ronnie Meckler, Allison Santucci, Meredith Fine, Deborah Kaplan, Nicole Morris, Selma Shea, Ben Slavitt, Alan Brackup, Amy Perlman, Tyrone Cushing, Evelyn Opat, Michael Ben Bluma Ushmuel, Don David Ben Ezer Vachaya, Davida Emanuela Bat Yechezkel Ephraim, Velvel Ben Baruch Virachel, Shoshana Bat Moshe Ubela, Ephraim Ben Malka Rachel. And I invite you, as people are already doing, to name others in the chat. If you want to say their names out loud, you can, or you can just put their names in the chat. We ask God's blessing for all these people and all the people who are in our hearts, as we use the words that Moses used when he cried out to ask God to bless his sister Miriam with healing. We say, Ana Elna Rifana La. Please, God, bless all the people we've mentioned with healing of body, healing of spirit. Heal them all. Ana Elna Rifana La. Amen. May God bless us all with healing and bless all the people in our hearts with Rufuat HaNefesh, Rufuat HaGuf, healing of body and healing of spirit. And together we'll say Amen. Well, now that we've said that special Misha Berach, we have the opportunity for one more special blessing tonight, because our fantastic student rabbi, Talia Stein, amazingly, after 5, I want to say wonderful, long years of rabbinic school studies, on Sunday is going to be ordained as a rabbi. And it's a great blessing for us in the community to have her in our community. And with great joy and pride, many of us will watch her at 2 o'clock on Sunday, be ordained, the first of 2 parts to a ceremony. The second part will occur probably in October. But Talia, we want to ask God's blessing for you. You bring so many special talents to being a rabbi. Your great wisdom, your great enthusiasm for Judaism, your passion for social justice, your great sense of humor, your can-do positive attitude. It's really extraordinary. So we are delighted for you. And we're delighted also to invite the whole community, wherever they are, wherever you are. I'm going to invite you to raise your hands in blessing for Talia as we ask God's blessing for her. So don't be shy. I'm going to invite you to raise your hands in the ancient blessing pose of the Kohanim. We are commanded to be a people, a holy nation and a kingdom of priests. That's what it says, that the whole people are Kohanim. So everyone, please raise your hands in blessing as we ask God's blessing for Talia. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and protect you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God shine upon you, shine light upon you, and be good to you. Yisa Adonai panav elayich v'yasem lach Shalom. Shalom. May God smile upon you in all your journeys as a rabbi and in bringing your leadership to the Jewish people, and bless you with shalom, peace, and most of all with wholeness. Amen. Mazel tov. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'siman tov. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'siman tov. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'siman tov. Yehelanu, 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 Olecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Olecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Olecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Olecho Yisrael. Mazel tov, Talia. And now, it's great to see so many people wishing you Mazel tov in the chat. That's great. We want to encourage people to keep that up. And now we'll turn to Talia for Devar Torah for this Shabbat.
Thank you. And I'm just so full of gratitude and love for being in this community. It's just really such a special place. Thank you, Rabbi Vogel, and to all of you who really make this place so joyful and inspiring and continue to inspire me each and every day. And it's fitting that we just shared this blessing, this priestly blessing, because that's actually what I'm going to talk about tonight. So I'll begin. This has been a challenging week, a challenging 2 weeks for sure, and a challenging few months. So I just want to take a minute to breathe. Yesterday, I was on a call with other rabbis talking about racial justice. Rabbi Susan Talvey in St. Louis, who had been involved in the Ferguson protests back in 2014, shared a story. About 2 years ago, she lost her daughter to cancer. The funeral was over MLK weekend, which consisted of a Black Lives Matter march throughout the city, one that she usually speaks at. However, that year, the march was mostly empty. Why? Rabbi Talvey looked out the window and saw thousands of people she had been protesting and marching with for the previous few years at her daughter's funeral. These people saw Rabbi Talvey's pain, they valued her, and they knew that they needed to show up for her at that moment. In this week's Torah portion, Naso, we read the famous priestly blessing, Yevarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may God bless you and protect you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha, may God shine God's face upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom, may God lift up God's face to you and grant you peace. We bless each other using this language in our prayers. We bless our children with this blessing Friday nights. We just bless me with it, and later on we'll bless the entire community with it. We often use this blessing to mark weddings and other important life cycle events. We say these words all the time, but what is this blessing actually about? As I see it, the blessing is an embodiment of the idea that humans are created in the image of God, B'Tselem Elohim. But I actually want to focus tonight on the last line. May God lift up God's face to you and grant you peace. What does it mean to lift up, for God to lift up God's face towards us? According to Bamidbar Rabbah, God will turn God's face towards you because we know that it is not the same for a person to greet their neighbor while looking them in the face as it is to greet them with their head turned. Just as God lifts God's face to show us the respect and dignity we deserve, we have the opportunity to lift each other up by treating each other with the same dignity and respect. Furthermore, this line evokes an incredibly powerful image, that of God turning God's face, lifting God's face towards us. God is looking to us people, to do holy and sacred work in this world. The final line of this blessing requires us to go one step beyond just treating each other kindly. Rather, lifting each other up calls on us to be in real relationship, in partnership with one another, to hear and to see each other, to be fully present for each other. Only then are we granted shalom, peace or wholeness, as individuals and as a community. The root of Yisa, to lift up, is the same root for the name of our Torah portion this week, Naso, Nun Sin Aleph. Our portion begins with a census of the family of Gershon. Here, the Torah intentionally puts the word Naso et harosh, or lifting of the head, to mean to count. In Judaism, there's a custom not to numerically count people because we value each and every person. People are not merely supposed to be reduced to numbers. Being created in the image of God means each person, each of us, has infinite value. A society where people are reduced to numbers is not one where people feel appreciated. As a Jewish people, this is a lesson we unfortunately know too well. On the contrary, this idea of lifting up another's head, even during the mundane and routine task of taking a census, places the dignity of the human being at the center of society. And this very blessing, the priestly blessing that we say so often in our lives, serves as a reminder of these possibilities. It helps remind us that we are able to lift up the heads and the voices and the stories of all those around us. These past 10 days, we have heard the cries and the anguish from our Black brothers and sisters. For too long, our country and even our own communities has turned our face away from these cries. We may have listened for a little while after the deaths of Mike Brown, of Eric Garner, Tamir Rice, and Sandra Bland, but then perhaps we forgot, or maybe we got busy with other things, including other good and just causes. The past few months, we have witnessed coronavirus hit Black and Brown communities at an incredibly high rate. And just in the span of a few weeks and months, we have witnessed the murder of people simply trying to live their lives. Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Tony McDade, George Floyd, and likely others that did not make the news. Murders at the hands of the state and of vigilantes. And they were not listened to. They were not seen. We heard George Floyd say, "I can't breathe," and his words were ignored as his sacred breath left him. But as the protesters have taken to the streets and have called out for justice, we perhaps have seen some change. We lift up the memories of these individuals in our protests, in our vigils, in our prayers, and in our actions. We have now seen some of the police and the vigilantes indicted for their senseless crimes, and we are watching institutions finally begin to break their ties with police, recognizing that protection is only valuable when everyone, each individual, is actually safe. And our efforts must continue. All over Boston and even right here in Brookline, protests and vigils are occurring, lifting up the lives of those we lost and praying and hoping that this senseless violence, the systems of racism that exist in this country, come to an end. We can join these protests either physically if we are able or from our own computers. We can write to our legislators and demand change. We can participate in GBIO actions or actions with other organizations. We can donate to those organizations with our money. We are in an election year, and we can make sure we vote and encourage and help others to do so, especially those that are disenfranchised, many whom are people of color. We can work on dismantling racism, both in the country as a whole and even right here in Brookline and at Temple Sinai. want to shout out to the racial justice core team that is planning a book group and other events to help us do this work. It is the actions of these protesters, of communities of color all over the country, and of our own community that are doing this holy work of lifting each other up. Yisa Adonai panav elecha. God is looking towards us to do the work for justice. And we too can turn our faces, turn our hearts and actions towards supporting communities of color. Tonight, I ask that you commit to participate in at least one of these actions and dedicate your action to the lives lost. This is not a one-time action, but rather the beginning, or perhaps for some, a continued effort to build deep relationships and coalition to do work to dismantle racism and white supremacy. And our strength to do this important work, our call, our obligation to show up and to create real change comes from this blessing, the one we regularly say Friday evenings, because it's centered on the value of each and every human being. Because, like God, we lift up our face and the faces and voices of those around us. And that is how we create a true kihila shel chesed, a kihila full of loving kindness, and I'll add shel tzedek, of justice. In the same way that Rabbi Talvi had shown the Black Lives Matter community in St. Louis that she would always show up. She cared for them and she was really willing to respond to them. They, without even being asked to show up, showed up for her at one of her greatest times of need. That is what being in a real relationship is all about. I want to conclude with a blessing. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless us and protect us so that we may be able to live out our lives to their fullest potential. May we continue to offer support and protection for ourselves and to all those around us. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God encourage us to use our own light to see the good in others and bring that out in each other. Yisa Adonai panav elecha yasem lecha shalom. May God inspire us to turn towards others, to love each other, to lift each other up, to show up and be truly present for one another, so that we may bring wholeness and peace to ourselves, our community, our families, our communities, our country, and our world. Shabbat Shalom. We'll now turn to the concluding prayer of the service, which is so fitting because we're imagining what the future world we want to live in is, a world full of tikkun olam. And remember, we use the universalist language, so pay attention to the words on the screen. Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, l'tekidu l'yotzer breshit, shenehu noteh shamayim v'yosed aretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim ma'al, u'shchinatu zo b'govhei meromim, hu Eloheinu einod, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, Malchei Amlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu, Al Ken Nekavalecha, Adonai Eloheinu, Liro Mehera Petiferet Uzecha, Letaken Olam B'Malchut Shaddai, B'Nemar, V'Haya Adonai, Lemelech Al Kol Haaretz, Bayom Hahu, Yeh Adonai Echad, Ushemo Echad. We turn now to the Mourner's Kaddish. We remember those in our community and in the world who have recently passed away, those lost to the COVID-19 pandemic, those lost to racial violence. And we remember those in our community that we've lost. Either we're observing their yortzites that they've passed away this week during the calendar year. And these are their names: Irving Ashheim, Maltid Rachel Axelrad, Samuel Bachner, Ruth Breger, Dolly Cahill, Gerald Cooper, Herbert Ehrman, Eleanor Enkin, Alvin Fine, Barney John Harris, John Hershon, Stanley Hubshare, Joan Jack, Hy Jacobson, Mimi Kagan, Israel Kaplan, Esther Sillen Levinson, Netta Logowitz, Minna Mincer, Enid Myers, Rose Pash, Bernard Richmond, Jerome Rogoff, Janice Shafran, Molly Smith, Henry Weinberg, Betty Werner Yaffe, and Jay Zimmett. And in the past 30 days, we recall the memories of those we lost: Barbara Ann Waldorf Abraham, sister of Rabbi Frank Waldorf, and Rabbi Waldorf, Beth, Ellen, and Lucy, we offer you our condolences. And Lee Finkelstein, cousin of member Ellen Finkelstein. And Ellen, we also offer you our condolences. May all their memories be a blessing. Zichronam livracha. And please join me in the mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam umei omaya. Yibarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. Yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal. Shemei dekudasha brichu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all those who are mourning, all those who were named in the chat, and were named in our community. Zichronam livracha. Now I want to invite Temple Sinai's president, Charlie Homer, to share some announcements.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Student Rabbi Stein. I look forward to next week taking the student away, and certainly from your Devar, I know it'll be a wonderful thing, and we're very lucky to have you. So thank you for that lovely teaching. Just to make a few announcements. First announcement is that we will have an oneg after this and encourage you to attend. Those of you, if you haven't attended, it's a really great chance to spend more time together in community. The next event I'd like to mention is this Sunday morning. We have the Temple Sinai annual meeting. It's a wonderful opportunity for people to get together, to hear about what's gone on for the year, to hear about what's going to happen next. And we are going to particularly celebrate the appointment of Arlene Weintraub as honorary trustee for life. We'll also be electing the new trustees and doing a few other exciting things that we look forward to having you join us for. Those are the main events I'd like to highlight. We do have Daf Shavui also on this Sunday morning at 9:45. You can do that for a little bit and then come into the annual meeting, or you can do them in parallel.
I actually think we've canceled it for this week in favor of the annual meeting, to try to get everyone to the annual meeting.
Good. I'm glad. But I saw it on the schedule, so I was just following the order. So good. I'm very glad. And then next Sunday, we also have an adult learning, continuing the discussion of church and state that Dennis Serrati will be leading. And I think I'll stop there. But again, Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, did we lose Rabbi Vogel? It might be that we lost Rabbi Vogel. Rabbi Vogel, are you there? Well, we'll turn. I'll continue and see if he pops in. We're going to turn now to the Kiddush. I unfortunately don't have access to the slides. But if you know it, please join me. And hopefully Rabbi Vogel will chime in. Wow. Oh, there he is. There he is.
Here I am. Yeah, I'm having internet trouble in my backyard, but it just came back miraculously. All right. Thank you, Charlie. Sorry that my computer froze. I'm back now. Let's, before we turn to the Kiddush, Andy, you're not on. I think I'm back on now. I just want to God's blessing for our entire community during this time. once again, using the words of the Torah portion, the words that Talia mentioned in her Devar Torah, a blessing for each one of us and the people that we love. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May everyone be blessed with shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. I invite you to think about the people you love in your community, in your family, and on this Shabbat to ask God's blessing for them. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Please join me. Shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. V'yasem lecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. V'yasem lecha shalom. All right, I think we lost. I don't know if I'm on or not. I can't tell. Can you hear me? Yes? Yes? All right, good. All right. So, Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Please join me in this blessing for Shalom now, a blessing to celebrate Shabbat with Kiddush wine. And tonight I think there's a full moon, or maybe it was last night, but you can see as well. Please join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lemahaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim ki vanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. All right. We want to wish a sweet Shabbat to everybody in our community. Oh, there we go. Shabbat Shalom to everybody. We'll make motzi, and then we want to wish everyone Shabbat Shalom. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Olam chesed yibaneh, la 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 la. Olam chesed yibaneh, la 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 la. Olam chesed yibaneh, la 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 la. Olam chesed yibaneh, la 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 la. I will build this world from love, la 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 la. And you must build this world from love, la 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 la. And if we build this world from love, la 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 la. God will build this world from love, la 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 la. Olam chesed yibaneh. Everyone, go to the oneg. La 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 la. Olam chesed yibaneh. La 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 la. Olam chesed yibaneh. La 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 la. Olam chesed yibaneh. La 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 la. Shabbat Shalom to everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Peace and gladness and rest and blessing. Shabbat Shalom.